A dramatic twist has unfolded in the ongoing federal government shutdown, with a judge stepping in to halt the Trump administration's controversial plan to lay off thousands of federal workers. This move comes as a temporary relief for those affected, but it's a decision that has sparked intense debate and raised important questions about the administration's motives. Less than a week after the administration confirmed the layoffs of around 4,000 workers, U.S. District Judge Susan Illston granted a request from two powerful unions to block further layoffs across more than 30 agencies. During the hearing, Judge Illston expressed her agreement with the union's argument that the administration was unlawfully exploiting the funding lapse, which began on October 1st. To pursue its agenda of downsizing the federal government. But here's where it gets controversial. Judge Illston cited public statements by President Donald Trump and the White House's budget chief, Russell Vought, which she believed revealed explicit political motivations for the layoffs. Trump's comment about targeting Democrat agencies was particularly damning. A lawyer from the U.S. Justice Department argued that the unions should first take their claims to a federal labor board before seeking court intervention. However, the Trump administration is expected to appeal the restraining order, setting the stage for a legal battle. On Friday, major departments like Treasury and Health and Human Services, HHS, confirmed they were issuing layoff notices to employees. Even the Department of Homeland Security, where many employees are considered essential, announced plans to lay off workers from its cybersecurity and infrastructure security agency. A filing from the Office of Management and Budget revealed the extent of the cuts, with over a quarter of them targeted at the Treasury Department. Notices were sent to approximately 1,446 employees there. HHS, too, was notifying between 1,100 and 1,200 employees, although they later clarified that the actual number of layoffs would be lower. Other departments, including Education, Housing and Urban Development, Commerce, Energy, and Homeland Security, were also planning significant cuts, ranging from 176 to 315 employees each. Russell Vought, the budget chief, has stated that the administration intends to cut more than 10,000 federal workers in total during the shutdown. In an interview with the Charlie Kirk Show podcast, aired before the court ruling, Vought said the 4,000 layoffs were just the beginning, predicting that the number would get much higher. Vought defended the cuts, saying they would continue during the shutdown because the administration believes it's important to stay on the offensive for the American people and taxpayers. He later added that the total number of layoffs could end up being over 10,000. In response to these comments and the political nature of the layoffs, two major unions, the American Federation of Government Employees and AFL-CIO, took swift action. They filed a lawsuit and then requested an emergency restraining order from Judge Illston while the case proceeds. The unions argued that implementing layoffs is not an essential service that can be performed during a funding lapse. They also emphasized that the shutdown does not justify mass firings, as most federal workers have been furloughed without pay. As the federal shutdown enters its third week, the U.S. Senate has once again failed to pass a resolution to reopen the government. This is the 9th time such a resolution has fallen short, with Republicans and Democrats locked in a bitter impasse. Republicans, who control both houses of Congress and the White House, blame Democrats for the stalemate. They argue that Democrats should agree to pass a clean funding resolution that would maintain current spending levels. However, with a slim majority in the chamber, Republicans need some Democratic votes to reach the 60-vote threshold required to pass the resolution. Democrats, for their part, have remained unified in their demand for a resolution that addresses rising healthcare costs for lower-income Americans. This ongoing battle over the federal shutdown and the controversial layoffs has divided opinions across the nation. What do you think? Should the administration be allowed to proceed with these layoffs, or is this an abuse of power? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.